Hey everybody. So it's a really rainy day here in Colorado, and yeah, stuck inside, and I'm still working on the Frostgrave table. We did a game the other day, and somebody had a serious advantage on game night because of their illusionist archer crossbowman build. Basically, people were trying to climb on stuff and they were getting shot at and getting melted. And like, I'm not going to get into too much detail with it because I'm totally going to steal his build. And we're gonna, yeah, I'm gonna use that. But anyways, what I need now is stairs. I need some stairs to go up and down from my stuff so that people aren't constantly, spending all of their movement to get on top of things, and having some areas where people can run up and get into melee and not necessarily get melted by archers and crossbowmen. But yeah, these could totally work for any fantasy game. Like, I mean, Age of Sigmar, Relic Blade, Malifaux, Pathfinder, D&D, whatever. Yeah, today we're making stairs. So I was playing around with making some stairs, some little stairwells that would go along with my other pieces of modular terrain, my raised terrain for like Frostgrave and D&D, and I mean you could use these for like Mordheim or Relic Blade, Malifaux, you name it. But so what I figured out was I have a whole bunch of just extra pieces of foam core lying around that from other projects, and I have a lot of scraps. So I kind of lined them up, and I figured out that it takes exactly 10 pieces of foam core. Like these guys, these are 4 inches by 2 inches, and then they're an inch wide. And then to get up to 2 inches is exactly 10 pieces of foam core wide. And I was just going to use up all of my scrap foam core to just build something out of it. But I think that's going to take a really long time. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to slice up some more pieces of foam. I'm going to cut some more pieces of foam with the wire cutter, and I'm going to cut like 4 by 4 inch pieces, and then I'm going to slice them about as thick as foam core, and then I'm just going to shuffle them from one side to the other and then cut them in half, and then I'll have 2 sets of stairs. So, or at least that's the plan. Okay, so I ran into a few problems there because I don't always keep my little wire on my foam cutter like totally taut because it makes it break faster. So I was like trying to hold it straight, but you know what? Like actually, I'm kind of digging the like rough look. Like they already look like halfway there in terms of like texture and stuff. So anyways, yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna measure these out. I'm gonna put my grids on here. I'm gonna start, you know what? No, I'm not even gonna do that. I'm just gonna shift them over and I'm just gonna get something that's like pleasing to my eye. And then I'm gonna cut it in half and hopefully get 2 good sets of stairs out of that. Hopefully. Alright, yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. You know, the back looks a little bit janky because, you know, I had to like shift some of the pieces from side to side, but that part is gonna butt up against the other pieces anyway, so that's gonna be hidden. So I'm just gonna get to work gluing these guys together and then texturing them. I wish I could use the foam glue on this stuff because that stuff is just like kind of indestructible and it makes a really strong bond, so I know it's not gonna like melt in the car like if I used hot glue or something like that. But I think what I'm gonna use actually is some PVA glue. Or yeah, I might just seal these guys. I might just use my Mod Podge in between. Use my Mod Podge sealer to stick them together and then start painting them black at the same time. Yeah, actually, yeah, I think I'll do that. Alright, got these guys all glued up. I kind of forgot that I needed to texture them, so I started to just paint the whole things. But this stuff, the Mod Podge is, you know, it's glue. It's PVA glue. So it will seal this stuff and glue things together. But I forgot that I needed to texture these guys, you know, to cut out some like cobblestones. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And I am gonna try and preserve my grids a little bit on these guys. I think that if I put a mini on here, oh, these are super top heavy. That's not gonna work. Yay, it works. So I can put a mini on these guys and like rest them on there. So that's super cool. That's a win. All right. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just sort of make some cutouts that sort of preserve that grid a little bit, the inch by inch grid. Doesn't need to be too exact, but Okay, so this guy is dry, sealed. It's not quite as sturdy as I would like. I'm a little worried about it, you know, coming apart. I would like to use like the foam kind of Gorilla Glue stuff on this, but it's just, I didn't want to have to deal with the squeeze out and stuff like that. So this is just gonna have to do, this is my test piece, you know. So now I'm gonna mix up some colors. I'm gonna do some airbrushing. Don't buy this stuff. This is not good paint. It's way too thick for airbrushing, and then it's sold as like a paint that you're, you know, supposed to put directly. Like, look at how thick that is. That is so thick for an airbrush paint. Way too thick. This stuff is fantastic. Vallejo Modular, fantastic stuff. So I'm gonna mix that, and yeah, thin it down a ton. 'Cause you want your airbrush paint to be about the consistency of like milk, like whole milk, you know, pretty much. All right, and then I'm gonna start with that, and then I'm gonna start adding in some like greens and some like yellow ochres and stuff like that. This is just gonna be my base layer. I want that kind of slate, kind of gray look. Maybe I will add a little bit of this olive green. Okay, that's like most of the way dry. It's still a little tiny bit tacky. Airbrush, you know, when you do airbrush paint, it dries super fast because it's very thin. So now I'm gonna do a little bit of weathering with some pigments. I'm just gonna use these pan pastels, but you could use weathering pigments or, you know, whatever. You could just dry brush. That's what you feel like doing. But I'm just gonna put a little bit of some little browns in there in some places. I'm gonna put some highlights in. Going for like a slate look. I've been using the same palette pretty much on all of my Frostgrave stuff, but it's kind of like a slate look. Okay, now I'm going to use some heavy body acrylic. I'm going to use a little bit of unbleached titanium and some Payne's Gray to make my last highlight, which is just going to be the very last little bit of dry brush. But this is going to be my highest highlights. I'm going to use a big makeup brush with soft bristles to do this. Just the very last layer of dry brush to pick up those highest highlights, the tippy top raised edges. So that's it. Yeah, I like it a lot. I think it looks awesome. It looks great with all of my other stuff, the stuff that I've built for Frostgrave and D&D and all that stuff. And yeah, one of the big wins for me is that I can get the minis to stand on it. Like, I think that's one of the cool side effects of having the rough cut kind of stones, like kind of chaotic stones, is that it's easy to get minis to rest on it. So yeah, a big win for me. I'm happy with them, and I'm gonna make more. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you feel inspired. Welcome to all my new subscribers. It's been really cool to see my channel grow a lot in the last few months, during quarantine. So yeah, take care of yourselves and stay safe and paint some stuff.